track everything with your open sales opportunity. So before it becomes a quote, even you've got chatter over here, which is all your internal notes and external contact with the client. Everything's there. If you tie it into voice over internet, you can get tags of every single phone call, and there's ways to make it so that it will translate that in if you want to. Otherwise, you at least have it as an acknowledgement of phone calls in, phone calls out with dates and times. And then if I want to, just straight from here, I can go into a quotation. So now I just one click, I move from CRM to quotation. I can log any notes. I can add the products. If I'm working from a template, I can pull up a template, which automatically populates it with whatever products or labor or whatever would be in that section. And then from there, I can send the email directly to the customer. If I already know it's confirmed, I can confirm it. If not, like I said, it goes to the customer and they can approve it. They can pay for it. They can sign off on it. There's digital signatures, everything right there.
Just a couple questions on this. So
Yeah.
On the quotation template, so this is on the ERP side now, right? On the quotation template.
Yep.
Is that when you load up the template, if you say that you have a kind of a generic, system A is generally always set up this way, but I want to make some adjustments. Can you load in that template and then make adjustments to the actual quote, remove
Yep.
items in, if no issue there?
Okay. Absolutely.
And then if they're just buying like parts that we have on stock, that can also just get pulled up there from like an inventory list or something that I start typing in the number and it'll just start adding in that. Yeah, good.
Yeah. So like if I'll just start a new quote. If I was just going to do, a general thing, I could come in here and just start to do it and it will populate up, chair. So I can get an office chair and let's say a table and, so you can just do it that way. You can type in by number. If I have one that is anything that with an 8 in it, okay, I can add a drawer. Boom. Okay. There, I've got a sales order.
And to load all of this data into it, I'm assuming we can use Excel tables. If I have like a master list of all of these parts and descriptions that I want to, populate into here, so when I start adding in, ordering inventory, all that stuff, can I do it from a master list instead of having to do it each item one at a time?
Yeah. So you can, from products here, you can import your products. When you're creating a new product, if you want to, you can start here. Also, if you're just going to enter one, like you created one new one. Mm-hmm. So you designate whether it can be sold or can be purchased, the name of it. You might come over here to purchase and add your vendor on your inventory. If it's something that you manufacture, you can make it manufacture. If it's a buy, you can make it a buy. If it's something that you really don't carry in stock, but you order every single time has to generate a purchase order, you can have it as a buy and then also an MTO, which is a secondary route. So that what that does is it says in the inventory, you're always at 0. So as soon as you have one that needs to be ordered, it'll automatically generate a request for a purchase order to be created. And then you can go into the replenishment and automate it that way.
There are times that we'll kind of split up how things are done. Sometimes there can be payment up front with purchase orders. Sometimes there's payments portions that are prior to delivery. So when the goods are ready to ship. Yeah, so there could be a complicated setup of payment terms.
So Joe, can they include a payment link on an estimate that they email to a customer? Mm-hmm. That customer can pay against that. Okay, cool.
Yep. And you can do partials, you can do full payment. When you go to if you take a deposit, you can create a deposit when you go to send that invoice. Okay. So what you do is you can, what we have done in the past with partial payments is you create the sales order, you confirm the sale, and then you just start sending over invoices when they need to pay the invoice. And the invoice goes over with that exact amount, and then they can pay that exact amount.
And how easy would it be for Daniel himself to customize or HBCize the template, the email template? Is that something the user can kind of figure out on their own or with some guidance, learn how to do? Does the
Yeah, you
printout
can.
template and the email template provide a platform that the user can just say, oh yeah, let's put this merge field, or let's change this, or let's change that? I know it
Yeah.
can be fully customized for a fee. I'm wondering what the user can do himself.
So if I want to go into, let's see here.
You don't have to show us.
No, it's in here. It's
Curious.
in here under developer tools. So you can go in and just, here's your email templates, and I can go in here and change
Oh, okay.
things in the email
Yeah, I
template.
think the quote and like the order confirmation and invoice templates are definitely the ones that I'd want to customize so they look, like HPC branded, documents.
Yeah, I mean, you can drop in your logo at the top and add things. The other thing you can do with just the general straight out of the box, I mean, you can customize all those straight out of the box too. But even with the quotes, you can add a front cover PDF and a back cover PDF if you want.
Okay.
So like your quote would have just your logo and the format that it comes. But there could be, you could have the front cover blurb about what you want and have some data dropped into that. And then you could have the back cover be, a summary of the business and what they're looking for. And that gets automatically mushed together and sent out as an email.
And the email integration in Odoo is two-way, right? Of course, you can send emails from Odoo, but you can also receive emails in Odoo, right? Like Odoo becomes or can become the email client. Like it can totally replace Outlook, right?
Yep. Yeah, there's a few things that you want to do with that. Is you want to make sure that you have two different servers, one email server for your any email marketing that you're going to do. If you use Google or you use Outlook's server farm, you're limited. While you get good traction for getting through to people, you're limited on the number of emails that you can send and receive on a daily basis.
Okay.
So I learned this really the hard way when I first got into Odoo. I was all excited and wanted to send a holiday card out to 8,000 clients, and I shut our email system down for 4 days. So
that's a problem.
Yeah. So all of a sudden everyone's asking me, how come we're not getting any invoices back or any client kind of communication? So if you're going to do any kind of email marketing or any large scale sending of emails, make sure you have a secondary server set up in the system for that, which you can do.
Yeah, I think what I would very likely want to be able to do, and I think you can, I'm assuming is, if I'm receiving an email back from a customer, right? So I will always send an email out directly in Outlook, attach in the quote any other information, and send that to the customer. And then they would respond back. They might respond back with a purchase order. They might respond back with questions, whatever, something. But I would want to be able to track that email came into Odoo, right? So do you guys have like a widget or an applet similar to like what Salesforce does, basically, to be able to show, okay, here's the email, here's when it came in, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So like if I was going to send this by email, it's going to populate over here.
Right, but what if I'm just doing it in Outlook? So not sending the email through Odoo, I'm sending the email through Outlook. Can I link?
Yeah, we can link and grab that info as well.
Yeah.
But a lot of times most people will send the quote from here. Like a lot of times I just send the quote from here, but I might still jump into my Outlook and send a secondary one saying, hey, I just sent you a quote through our Odoo system. Let me know if you have any questions or don't get it. Every now and then you have some companies whose systems are so tight that it'll push Odoo to their spam.
Sure. Yeah.
Secondary. So I always send a secondary one in Outlook and might just drop a note in the log saying, send a confirmation email via Outlook.
Yeah.
If I really want to get the info detailed, I'll drop the whole thing in. So I've got what I sent. But if there's not anything there that matters, I don't.
Yeah, I honestly, like, we're dealing always business to business, and with like some smaller companies, but some larger companies that have significant IT infrastructure. So typically for me, in my experience, 100% of the emails I'm going to send out is going to be through Outlook. So although it's nice that the feature's on here, it's not something that I expect I'll use at all.
Right.
But I'll want to be able to link back and show, for the opportunity that, hey, the quote's been sent out. You can see, like, the timestamp of when it went out on Outlook, or maybe even be able to open it. I'm not sure exactly the capabilities. My experience has been with Salesforce and with another kind of proprietary CRM, where it did allow for a lot of that, right? There was literally a button to link it into the opportunity and everything. And as you would send the email, it would forward, the email, it would BCC the email also to Salesforce and kind of log it in. So I don't know if that's a capability that's possible here with Odoo.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
We can get it. We can get it in as a follower, and we can tag all that stuff. So it's all right there. Just gonna see if I could. So in the quote, also, you can grab the customer signature and have a copy of it kept there. If you want to have any kind of optional products as secondary or accessories, you can add those to your quote. This is what it looks like when it goes to the customer. So they can have the sign and pay, view the details. They can approve it. They can provide feedback. They can ask a question. All this feeds right into your system. So if they have a question, you can log and keep track of that communication history going back and forth. So whether, and that's directly all direct through Odoo.
Okay. So this would, for me to have this capability, I would need to have sent the quote through Odoo.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying, like, for me, it's easier, because otherwise what you got to do, the process is you're here, and then I'm going to print a copy. I'm going to print a PDF quote, I'm going to save it, I'm going to drop it in. It's like 5 extra steps. It's not hard. I just drag and drop it into my email or drag and drop it into here, but it's a whole lot easier just to go click, send by email, and it's gone. And then if I want to send a quick follow-up via Outlook, I can.
Gotcha. Understood. Okay. And yeah, all those the services that you're showing there, being able to pay and stuff as well through Odoo, or that's all if they're getting this email sent through Odoo, right? If I'm printing it out, there isn't like a link in that quote, PDF of that quote, that they could click to then get to that information, or that page that would allow them to pay.
Not if you're doing you would have to drop in, you'd have to generate a link and drop it into your email.
Gotcha.
So that's why, when people are using Odoo, they send the quote that way, but I still use Outlook just because I do everything in Outlook, but it's more, I'm just doing the checking on them to make sure they got it, could find it, anything like that. If for whatever reason it doesn't get through or it gets blocked, then I take the time to download the PDF and generate the link and put it all together in that Outlook email to send to them. But the times that has happened is really rare, and it's only been with companies that are hyper locked down on their email servers of what can get through and what doesn't get through.